What's going on, everybody? So today I want to talk to you guys about the expectations, both time-wise and financially, when it comes to obtaining your jiu-jitsu black belt. I want to talk to you guys about this conversation because I think a lot of people unfortunately don't complete or don't stick with their journey when it comes to jiu-jitsu because of the unrealistic expectations that they may have had earlier on and or what they realize as they are progressing through their jiu-jitsu journey. Little reference for you guys, I am actually a purple belt in my jiu-jitsu journey myself. I'm relatively earlier on in my purple belt journey, about 7 months into it. So forever the humble student, I don't know nothing. I'm just giving you guys my perspective, my thoughts and my opinion about this journey that I've been on and what I've been seeing other people, have to deal with when it comes to the conversation of time spent and then cost. Right? Because everything has a cost. You're either spending your time and or literally coming out of pocket to practice this, unless you have a very, very nice instructor, coach, professor, whatever you want to call them, who is doing this for absolute free. And still, even if they're doing it for free, they are still spending their time, you're still spending your time in practicing this art that we call jiu-jitsu. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it though. On average, I'm gonna make a couple assumptions, by the way. On average, here in the United States, I think the cost per month is about $130 for most people to attend a certified school, right? Or a school just in general. If you do simple math, you will know that $130 per year is $1,550. I had to think about that for a second. I said simple math and I still had to think about that. But yeah, so if you're paying $130, the annual cost would be $1,560 a year. And on average, what people have put out there on the interwebs for most people to obtain their jiu-jitsu black belt is a time length of right around 10 years. Now, I will push back on this and say that I don't think that's actually true. For most people, I know there's nuances both for the faster individuals and or the individuals who might have something happen and take longer, right? Or might just in general take longer to obtain their jiu-jitsu black belt. But I actually do think that most people experience a longer time frame to get your jiu-jitsu black belt instead of just 10 years like the internet is suggesting. Again, I think a lot of people would probably agree that on average, it's more like 12 to 13 years for individuals to obtain their jiu-jitsu black belt. But again, that's just my humble opinion. I know for myself, being a very consistent practitioner ever since starting, right? And I train 4 to 5 times a week because I'm just that guy. And I also, on top of that, help voluntarily coach kids class because again, I'm just that guy. I like giving back. I like being on the mats. I like there's different viewpoints and things to take away from being a practitioner and practicing it and then also helping coach and teach it. I think, again, this is something for a whole different conversation. For anybody that ever feels like they're getting burnt out, I really strongly suggest getting into coaching or getting into that aspect of jiu-jitsu. It gives you a different perspective and a different mindset. It helps you appreciate things a little bit more. At least it did for me. It really helped me keep the flame, going, if you will. Anyway, so again, if you do the simple math, we can talk about the 10-year conversation that the internet likes to put out there for average individuals to get their jiu-jitsu black belt. If you do the simple math for $130 a month, and then the annual cost of it being $1,560 a year, the total cost for 10 years, obviously you just times it by 10, would be $15,600 in all financially that you have to come to grips with, that you're going to be putting in financially to obtain your jiu-jitsu black belt. And that's to say everything goes smoothly and you actually get it in 10 years, right? Like that's a very simplified conversation. Again, I don't think most people actually get their jiu-jitsu black belt in 10 years, but that's neither here nor there. That's just my humble opinion. Again, you can do the math and just kind of pull that out a little bit longer if you're talking about 12 to 15 years, but on a 10-year conversation, right? The average or the expense that you're going to have to come out of pocket just to get your jiu-jitsu black belt is going to be over $15,000. That's a very big investment into getting a piece of cloth wrapped around you, right? It's much more, right? It's a representation and stuff like that. But I really want to put that out there so that people understand what they're getting into when they start the journey. And again, I'll also make this caveat. I firmly believe this, that martial arts, or being a practitioner of a martial arts, means that the journey hopefully is never ending, right? And so you can always, keep practicing your martial arts after you learn the fundamentals, after you've kind of learned the bare basic or principles, if you will, of your martial arts, even at home. That's you don't have to have somebody graduate you and give you a belt, promotion and stuff like that. You can keep practicing like a lot of people traditionally did with their martial arts. You don't have to go to a school and get somebody's recognition or nod of approval, if you will, just to practice a martial art. You can definitely do so after you get your 10-year black belt, graduating certificate, promotion and stuff like that, and just keep doing it and not have to pay anything after that. Sure, you should know basically what you need to know in order to keep practicing jiu-jitsu at that time. Heck, you can even argue that come purple belt, for most individuals, you should have learned the bare basic fundamental concepts and movements of your martial arts by that time, right? Most people, for purple belt, I believe it's like 4 to 5 years on average for people to get your purple belt. And so hopefully by then, I would assume and really again hope that you kind of had the general concepts down in order for you to keep continuously practicing without having to pay a fee to go to a school, right? But again, if you continue that path with sticking with the school and sticking with a training environment where you can get people's feedback and you can get continuous roles with newer individuals so that your skills are always sharpened, because there's one thing about doing it at home, practicing the movements and stuff like that, but then consistently getting exposure to individuals, a fresh batch of individuals all the time, there's a big value to that, right? So again, the idea is to never stop. And so when you think of that, right, like if you practice for 20 years, you're going to spend over $30,000 on average if prices just stay the same, right? So something to think about. Again, I think if you break it down even, in a smaller, if you really want to kind of like grasp it, on average, when you kind of like think of it on a class to class basis, what you can kind of find is that if you're paying $130 per I can't speak today to save my life, per month, on average, which most people train 2 to 3 times a week, you'll find that you pay right around $10 a class. Like I think if you train three classes a week, then on average the cost per class is $10 a class. And if you think of it that way, like most people spend $10 easily at Starbucks. I like Dunkin' Donuts or other things. I don't really care for Starbucks, but I can easily spend $10 a day doing very much more worse things than training on martial arts or training jiu-jitsu. But anyway, yeah, if you break it down and training 3 times a week at $130 a month, your average cost per class is $10. And so I just kind of want to put that out there, actually, I'll be honest, in a selfish kind of way, because what I've found is a lot of people don't actually fully grasp the commitment that you have to make in order to obtain, the upper rankings of jiu-jitsu, let alone your black belt, right? And that's not to say that's, wrong for anybody. We all have different strokes, right? Different folks, different strokes is the saying. Like some people get hurt. Some people can't keep up with the training demand that it takes to master jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. Like again, 3 times a week for a lot of older individuals, right? And I'm not talking about you teenagers or early 20-year-olds that have no family, have no significant other and stuff like that. It's a much different conversation. I'm in my mid 40s and like sometimes I even struggle staying as consistent as I am. And I think I'm above and beyond most people training 5 times a week and then coaching as well. So yeah, that's not to say you're going to get injured. More than likely than not, it's not I have a saying, it's not, if, it's when you're going to get injured probably, which it means less time on the mats, which means extended time to get promotions. A lot of people are going to struggle with just the day-to-day demand in your private and or professional life, being able to find time to train, something that you are doing recreationally. You know, I know there's some competitors out there and stuff like that, but like most of us are hobbyists or recreational jiu-jitsu practitioners. We're just trying to better ourselves and do stuff like that. But yeah, I just kind of want to put that out there, guys, and let you guys all know what the average cost is, what the average time spent in trying to obtain your jiu-jitsu black belt. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think? What do you guys actually pay per month for your dues? You know, and that's, again, another great thing to talk about while we're trying to end this conversation is how many gis do you guys buy, right? Like how many, like you got to think about that. Like with your gis and uniforms, you can easily spend a lot of money. I have like 5 different gis, right? And I'm always having to change those because they get ripped, they get worn, they get dirty or whatever. Maybe you pay private lessons on top of that as well. And then maybe you are a competitor. You have to pay fees to go compete and travel costs and stuff like that, right? Maybe you go to seminars. There's all these extra costs that get compounded onto that conversation. But I was just kind of talking in a more broader sense of what the gym membership is. If you really stack that on top of that, you know, total cost, it can get really, really high for a lot of people out there. But just something to consider. Let me know what you guys, you know, how many times a week do you guys train? How much do you guys actually pay for the gym that you train in? What do you guys think about the conversation, right? Do you guys think that the average time that Google is spitting out there for most people to get their jiu-jitsu black belt is realistic? Because it's saying 10 years, and I actually don't agree with that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Always stay safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel, my friends. Keep up the training. Don't forget, subscribe, like the video. Almost forgot about all that. Peace.